Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern Mindset. This week we're going to cover the topic I've mentioned in a couple different videos, but it's burnout. And it's one of the leading causes of motivation killing and people getting burnt out and not being able to just produce the same quality of work they were doing before. In this week's video, I'm going to talk about three main areas. The first one, what is burnout? The second one is why is it so prevalent in today's society? And number three is what are some helpful tips from what I've done that have helped me deal with burnouts. So make sure you stay to the end of the video in order to learn those helpful tips. Just a quick note, but if you enjoy this content and you don't want to miss any videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Last week's video only had about 30% of people who watched it were subscribed. So, try to grow the channel a little bit. I haven't asked for a subscribe or a like in a while, so, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, let's get started with the video. So to start, in simple terms, burnout is the state of emotional and physical and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. Once you start to deal with burnout, it can actually be kind of hard to deal with, especially now with work from home being so prevalent. Like I literally work 100 feet from my bed. And it can be very hard to start dealing with the different aspects of burnout and where you can start to resolve those underlying issues. Everyday tasks can start to feel very mundane. You wake up, you go straight into your office, you start to work 9 hours, about halfway through the day, you start to feel exhausted, so you get your second cup of coffee, you get back to work, and then eventually you're working past your normal time because you want to hit all your deadlines and you're already here. You don't have to worry about traffic. You don't have to worry about getting home in order to start cooking and stuff along those lines. So working from home has caused burnout to become actually even more prevalent than it was in the past. And I'm not saying work from home has been the sole cause of burnout by any means, because I actually personally like work from home. It's made my life more convenient. I don't have to drive to the office. I don't have to pay to park downtown. But I have noticed for myself, it's become very easy to justify working a little later each day because I'm already home and it's just very easy just to keep working. You're already set up. You don't have to leave. And it's just work from home has expedited some of those issues that I've noticed in my own life. One other issue I've noticed with burnout and something that causes burnout a lot of the times is whenever you start looking at your career as a sprint rather than a marathon. I know that's kind of a cheesy way to put it, but I think it's a very good way to start describing the way your mind has to change in order to make it so you can have longevity in your career. Because it's easy to get caught up in thinking that if you put in more time, then it'll proportionally affect your growth and your trajectory. I can't speak, But yeah, it doesn't proportionally always give you that kind of response or that kind of proportional benefit to working those extra hours. So yes, working extra hours can actually help you grow your career in the short term as well, because you are able to get more done in those, say, if you go from working 9 hours to working to like an extreme of 18 hours. Of course you're gonna get more done, but you're gonna start noticing these diminishing returns start to happen because we're not robots. We're not meant to work 18 hours a day and then only go home and have 6 hours to do what else, shower, eat, stuff like that. So you're gonna start seeing diminishing returns in that way. What I've noticed and what a few other studies have noticed is that working over time is more like a logarithmic curve. So you have this very high increase of productivity or efficiency done at the very beginning, but as more and more time goes on, that curve starts to flatten where you're getting less and less returns in that time that you put in. This can directly start to point towards burnout, where you stop seeing the returns on your time. So you feel like you're putting in twice as much effort because you're working, say, the 18 hours over 9 hours, but you're not getting recognized from your boss because you're not working as efficiently in some ways, where they don't recognize that you're working 9 extra hours. They're recognizing that you're working 2 extra hours, but that's not the actual truth. So then this starts to bring up these thoughts in your head where you're wondering if work actually appreciates you or if any of this is actually worth it in the end. Because what I've noticed when the people I mentor and stuff like that, people want to be shown appreciation. And it's one of the leadership things that we're taught and that I've seen in the past is that people want to be recognized for the efforts they're doing. They're not looking to get a trophy or necessarily a pay raise, which I think everyone wants to get paid more or paid to their worth, but I think people want to be recognized for the efforts they're putting in. Some people can find balance in their life, even though working more like 60 to 80 hours a week, but that's not for everyone. And I feel like you have to set up clear boundaries if you want to be successful. So one boundary I like to think about is setting up time boundaries. So say that you only want to work from 9 to 5. Some weeks that may not be possible, some weeks you'll work more than others, but in general, you want to set up a general time boundary of 9 to 5, where you're going to make sure that you turn off your laptop at 5 and you no longer think about work. You're going to think about what you have to do at home, or you're going to go spend time with your kids, you're going to go spend time with your friends, stuff like that, where you're no longer stressed out about work. Another thing to help with this is try to remove work from your phone if possible. Because one thing that can happen is you can get tied up in working on emails and answering responses for other people and stuff like that whenever you're not actually supposed to be working, and it's very easy to get consumed by it. This may not be possible for everyone, but it's something that a good key idea is to try to stop yourself from getting on your work email and stuff like that throughout the night whenever you shouldn't be thinking about it. Another major thing that has helped me is try to find something that you enjoy. There's something outside of work, there's something you can set aside for you to have a stress reliever every day, or at least multiple times a week. Let that consume you during that time. Don't think about anything else. So like for me, it's like lifting weights and going to doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This has benefits beyond just enjoyment and relaxation. It's something that gets you away from work where you're no longer getting overly consumed by, say, a problem you're trying to solve, where you're able to focus on something else, where it gets you out of that stressful mindset, where you may actually come up with a better answer than what you were thinking before, because you're no longer consumed and very up close and personal with that problem. Stepping back can actually help you come up with a better solution in the end. And I hope this message doesn't come off as anti-hustle or anti-grind or anything like that. But everyone has to find balance eventually, and it'll be different for each person. Some weeks will be more work than others, and some weeks will be less work, and you'll be able to find that balance, and then just understand that you have to have time in between to rest, to de-stress, stuff like that. You have plenty of time to work the rest of your life away. Try to find balance. Try to find some way that you can not bring stress home and find problems there where they aren't any. Burnout can cause many issues, and if you don't deal with the underlying problems, then you're gonna end up burning the candle at both ends until you meet the middle, and that means you're done. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe like I asked earlier, and maybe leave a comment, let me know. But in the end, just try to find some balance in your life and try to live life where you're not stressed out all the time. But see you next week on Modern Mindset. Thank you for watching.